whoever got watching, you can pick what we do first. Do Q&A, we talk strategy, or we just build some lineups, put some players' names out, and we'll go ahead and just start building from there. Let's see. This all I've heard all week. This is Gurley. It's Todd Gurley 10K. I don't know if we can make it fit though. See, like I feel like I can get this out. You can get this out of Melvin Gordon or Sheemak. You don't need to get 10K Todd Gurley. I want to see the outfits though. We'll start here. I don't know if Goff's to play either. He's got the receivers back. I don't know if you need to stack him with Gurley anymore. Yeah, I mean, there's better upside plays. So what, 6K? What else you got here? Well, I mean, I think Rivers would outscore probably Jameis as well. I liked Wilson last week, but obviously, that was his best game all year. But oh no, it's close to it, but you're not getting much out of there. You need more than that. Let's try this. Let's try Winston. We gotta go pretty cheap. That number just looks so bad. I don't even think you need to do it this week, to be honest. I'm gonna try to make it work though. Just see what's the best muscle line you can make with 10K Gurley in there. Sheldon's probably a good play, but I think Yeldon's up there this week, isn't he? 64, yeah. I think you're making it work with Gurley and Yeldon. Any viewers or chat, you gotta let me know how the stream's doing so I can adjust volume or how the stream goes so we can keep this nice. I think, yeah, close game time. That wouldn't be a good pivot from there. And coach got the big games. Let's see here. Where's Powell? 45. Let's see here. What's the Packers run this slate? Playing against the Niners. Big bounce back spot after a loss and another comeback. Last time I did that this season, I was against the Bills and they shut him out. Defense scored 20 plus. I do think the Cardinals have a chance if you want to go down 2K, but there's also you're also, got the chance that Cousins just comes out and just burns them. Let's see here. I don't think the Raiders got enough to hurt it to get the Seahawks. Definitely not playing the Bucks. I don't know if the Broncos just slowed down the Rams either, or if they did, not how much. Maybe you don't have to go this cheap. Sack totals against the Texans has been a great play this year. I don't know if the Bills can do it though. At least 2 in each game, but they've allowed 40. That's a floor. That's a floor there. I think you can. Bengals started off the season good, but haven't been as good. The Steelers on this side. They put 17 against the Falcons in the shootout games. I don't think this is a shootout though. The Taiwan though. Like 6 sacks last week against Atlanta. I don't think so. No, the Skins. You can't trust the Titans. The Colts is a good play, but $500. We can make fit here. Let's try to go cheap the tight end. Hooper, he was the play last week just to get the cheapest piece in that Steelers Falcons matchup. Vance McDonald was the widely overrated. I mean, if you want to just go most likely outcome, you probably could have just gone with Hooper. Well, he's the tight end that's going to get the work. The Steelers, they could have rolled just using down there. That split killed anything McDonald had. Super? No, he's up here. Ebon, it's too expensive. You can't. That's not working with this Cody play. We got Winston. Yeah, I think if you could stack him with Matt Ryan if you wanted. I don't think you have to, but I think that the Ryan Julio stacks the play. But coming back, yeah, like Bray was been all chalk, but Howard got the full practice in on Friday. It was super cheap. Where's he at? 37. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's not gonna fit. Njoku's solid. I think last week, PPR wise, this was the best game all season. I don't know about yardage and catches, but yeah, 6 for 69. He got double-digit targets. Yeah, the Baker Mayfield effect was working for him. He might be too pricey though. Oh, where are we at? 5,800. It's the average for the rest of the lineup. I don't think the volume's going to get done for DJ. He hasn't hurt you this season if you've been able to leverage it, but yeah, he hasn't helped you either. Boyd might be too pricey. Let's try. Yeah, we'll need the build this way. Receivers first. I thought DD was the play last week, getting the dump offs, but yeah, 5 targets. I mean, it just. I think I might just stay away from the rest of the season. Sanu, I mean, he was the easy pivot last week from Julio, and that paid off first half, because Julio was getting locked down by Joe Hayden. That was the one lineup I had, the Julio Matt Ryan stack. That was scary. I'm like, Julio's got 8 points right now. I was like, what is he doing? And it was nothing. He was doing nothing. I think Kute will be too chalk this week just because Will Fuller's full health. I don't think you need to. I think his floor's lower this week. Let's see here. Yeah. He did get 7 targets with him on the field as a decoy, but and without the touchdown, That's 11. I think at that point, Chris Godwin might offer more. Actually, Chester Rogers. He's looking to be, yeah, he's the target guy. So I think if you can't get Ebron, you could probably. Yeah, let's try Rogers. Oh, I'm gonna have to step it up though. 63 is the average. Oh, I tweeted it out, but I was like, I think I might have too much Doug Baldwin last week. And yep, way too much Doug Baldwin. No, that's ugly. 1 for 1 for 1 for 1. Yeah, that run pass clip for the Seahawks is real this year. People can claim it for years. I want the Seahawks to be able to run, but I mean, in a game that was close to, it just didn't work out. We still have those 2 games, but even with Parker and Amendola in and out of the lineup, John Brown. I don't know if you're late getting on the train here. 5,500. You think he gets his 515 a touchdown? You're good. Let's see here. Yeah. 3 for 100 and a touchdown. 5 for 86. 4 for 92 and a touchdown. 4 for. So yeah, this is worst game of the year. And then 3 for 4 touchdown. I mean, if that's the floor, it's not the worst. You have 14 targets. Like, what, double digits in 2? It could do worse. Picking all these PPR floor guys. 1,300, so we go higher. What, did we pick Joku? We did. I don't know if you think you need Joku. You don't need Landry. What if we... Could we fit Melvin in here? He's been the player every week for me. I mean, you put him in. Might be Connor, though. Yeah, I think it's a slower game. But, man, he really blew up last week, so I don't know if you'd want to go to Mixon in that game or Yeldon. I think the chances of a Jamal Charles goal line vulture wouldn't be out of the realm, but you playing Jamal Charles, I have no idea what you're getting. I don't know if did they even price him? Is he even on the slate? Nope, he's not. He's not on the slate, so that's not a play. So let's try Yeldon. 64. So takes away our pricey back though. I think you still play Powell. Let's check the stream. I liked Juju last week over Antonio Brown. I think this might be a good game for Juju. I mean, he's getting the volume. He got 4 targets last week. Season low. Before that was 8. Also tied a season low in catches and yards. He did get a touchdown. I think Juju's a great play. Oh, miss out on Towel. What do we have? 4,200. So you gotta be back on Aaron Jones this week if he was on the slate. Can be back. I mean, 12 points. With this lineup, I don't know what that gets you. Naked James? Is Naked James a play? Naked James. I mean, it's not a bad lineup. Colts defense, though. Syracuse is a good play. I think you might. I put it back there all season just because I've been playing Melvin Gordon. I want RB. I think I need to get. I think I need RB with this lineup. Where are you at? Yeah, Rodgers is. I mean, if he's gonna get that many targets. Okay, let's see what we got. RB. Eckler, Davis. I'm not playing Rojo. Yeah, Hines is up there. I don't think you can't do 3,800 though. Oh, I already got Rodgers. No, that's not the stack I want this week. I don't see the appeal of Lindsay. I know he's pretty efficient, but I mean, you don't know. Like, is that the ceiling or is it the floor? Like, how many touches? But 15 touches and 60 to 80 yards. What, two catches? I mean, if Devontae Booker's still catching, he's still playing third downs for them. That's a sucker play, I think. Playing Mike Davis. He gave a touch in the third quarter. Just look into the receivers. Yeah, you can get QT. Christian Kirk. Yeah. It's just not, they don't throw enough. They're not getting the volume of the plays. I get the upside with Callaway, but I mean, I continue to see it. Like, I'd rather have Will Fuller, but I don't know if he's a poor man's Will Fuller. I don't think it was. Just the touchdown rate for Eckler. Two touchdowns, both receiving. There's one reception. Simmons. I don't know if that's what you want to look for. you're watching in the chat, go ahead and throw a player in or a question, and we'll go ahead and we'll start from there. Seven touches, 10 touches, 7 touches. Paid off, but coming back from Joku. So, oh no, let's look at our flexibility at tight end. He runs safe play. I think Braid's chalk, but you still have the chance to touchdown with him with the power plays. Puts he's never a big catch monster either. I think last year he was like 3 for 40, a touchdown. It's worked for tight end, but Panthers are good. 26. Close to 45. Yeah. Just go top shelf. The Bears. He's got to leave us. Flex. It's probably Slim Pickens. Yeah, I mean, General Shard. Let me get the. See, I'm trying to run the ball. Okay. Let's run it back real quick. That's great, yeah. I don't actually know what the Edo Smith game was. Was it 7? Yeah, the first one split 7 for 35, 3, a touchdown there. And then you have the goal line. Still 3,000. The thing, see, I think just Yeldon said if I'm not gonna hedge, if you got Yeldon. I mean, I'm not uncomfortable playing Jalen Richard. Yeah, no, it's not the worst. It's just split at home. Let's see. So obviously the low is the 3-yard game. The next 6, you got 5 targets and 3 receptions. He's just getting rushing. He's not getting any rushing. I guess you burn the receivers at that level. 34. No, you're not playing Pryor, Pascal. Roll, Washington. Last week burnt. McDonald. Uh-uh. I got Juju. So see, I need to catch four at that point, and that's not it. That's right. Bibbs might be in play. I think that's something to watch. You can't, yeah, I don't think you can lock him in like that yet. Same thing for Powell. I got Roto World saying about Jalen Sharp. Trusting Roto World. Oh, these are good. Who's that? David Moore? No. Yeah, I mean, Chris Carson. Hmm? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the Juju. This is the game. This is the Juju game. Okay, let's look up Richard real quick. Jalen Richard. I mean, you've got the chance that the Seahawks just they run it, they run it, they run it. And if the defense can just hold, Richard's got the play. I'm comfortable with this. I'm gonna save this one. I'll save this lineup. I think I mean for the Gurley lineup, I expect that to be much uglier. That's when you get top notch defense with the Bears. Richard, he is the worst play. But I mean, it's all about how you believe about the game script that Seattle game's gonna go. And I mean, if they're gonna run it, give each back, 12 plus touches, run down their throat in a game where an offense that isn't, I know it was super not efficient earlier in the season, but it still wasn't efficient. Yeah, we'll save that one. All right, here we go. See, that early lineup would have been much better too if the receiver, if Cooks and if the receivers weren't playing, because then Gurley gets the extra reception. And that's the only time he would want to stack off, I think. I feel like it's that better. It's like the rich man's version of the Jaguar situation. Like all three are probably going to do well, but you want to immediate best trying to get the best. Okay. I'm recently, at least this week, more on Watson than that in the past week. He's done for 300 yards, I think, in 3 or 4 straight. Only 2 touchdowns, and he's throwing a pick. But, I mean, he's just on Watson. That rushing floor, though. This Buffalo, I think he plays. I'll put him with Fuller or QT. And then we'll go Gordon. I think Yeldon's a good play. I don't think he doesn't do much. Like I'm gonna die on the Njoku Island. Yeah, I'm dying on David Njoku Island. And last week is hard to pay. I don't know if I want to jump straight to Juju yet. I don't think we have to. Let's see if we can get the Bears. The Texans aren't a bad play either. The same price. No, Bears are cheaper. I almost forgot since they're on bye. I stacked C-Mac with Cam last week. Is he like 20, 24, 30? Yeah, see, like that's more around. Yeah, that was the outlier. 184 yards. That was the outlier game for sure. So, yeah, there's no receptions. Yeah, that's more around what we'll be doing. I think we'll still get our 4 yards to carry. But yeah, what, 22, 30, 22, 16. It's leverage here. You're hoping that he. What was that game shirt like from the game that he got the 15 targets? Atlantic catch up game. There's no way that the Redskins put them out of this game. So, but I don't. Yeah, see, I think it's more like last week. Yeah, I got 17 carries. I think Yeldon's a better play. More savings. I don't know if I want to mix in. Yeah, see, like 20, 22, 93. I mean, I did so much numbers. And this is the Jordan Howard game. Only 1 touchdown all year. A couple receptions. Did they just run it down his throat? I mean, I guess you could. Who the backs will face Miami? some research here. I'll go to ESPN and pull up the stats too. I need the defensive stats. There's some good game logs. Box scores. Let's see here. Obviously, they got ran on by the Patriots. Now, if that's the game plan, we think Howard's probably a good play, but the higher floor is still Yeldon at $100 cheaper. We'll come back for we'll go over wide receiver. I do like the Thielen play this week. I think Julio's a great stack with. He's cheap this week. 79. Julio 79. See, like he burnt you bad. Other than week 4, and I mean these huge games. Cincinnati, Philly. Yeah, like I mean, like it's just, I guess I see the touchdown. I mean, I get it now because you got a solid floor. But if you're gonna pay 700, you're hoping that he gets 9 for 62 and 2 touchdowns, 6 for 96 and 2 touchdowns, or 9 for 64 and a touchdown. But you're not getting that. I think go back to Sanu. I think you're solid. Look at Thielen. It's your boy. Got fit and look with. I'm more comfortable with. Ooh, that got ugly. 55. No, you can't. Who was corners even matched up this week? New England, Tennessee, Janoris. You can't stop the guy. Guess you have Thielen. This is a spot where they let you down though. Which cheaper is he? It's $1,000. And I think if you're stacking, you go Hopkins. I mean, Diggs has been great. Yeah, I mean, he's so. Can I go Nook and Juju? Nook and Juju. 69. Remember Shard again at the flex? Yeah, 34.50. It's coming around, but no, you can't. Davis doesn't have it. I think Jordan has a game this week. Like, I mean, he hasn't. You know what? That 3 touchdown game week 2. Like, I mean, I think he breaks this late. Like, he breaks this 30-point games. The Rams was a low. Oakland was a low. should have scored last week. So we would have 4 30-point games this week. The only good defense they played this year. He's done bad in them. Not bad, but relative. 15 for 80. So, yeah, 14. You only see 2 receiving yards. Is that the game? Let's look at Eckler. How did Eckler do receiving in that game? In catch-up mode? Let's go look at the script. No, they didn't, receiving backs. You go Gordon then? Stay with Gordon. Who was the pivot? Oh, Jordan Howard. I don't know what the ceiling is though. I don't think. I mean, like I expect them to run the ball down the Dolphins' throats like the Patriots did. And in that case, I think he gets close to 100 yards, but he's gonna catch a couple passes and get a touchdown. I mean, I guess it's like the DJ play the past couple weeks where he's not going to hurt you by the volume, but he's got the volume. Who's the DJ? 59. What if that's smart? Against the Vikings. Like you have to assume that the Cardinals can have just some semblance of an offense. That floor. That floor. Where's Coleman? You want Coleman? He's at 5,400. If he gets a higher monopoly this week of the touches over, Ito Smith is kind of just there, but the Bucks. Does he get the receiving work? Like 9 receptions. Total. This is reception high. 4 week 2. Like I think we're starting to throw. So in that case, you want to go Sanu. Sanu. I don't have anyone like 48. Then I have a naked Watson. Where's Will Fuller? Whoever's watching in the chat, go ahead and throw down a player or a question or just some strategy and we'll talk it out. I just saved a Gurley lineup. Just how much 10K Gurley worked. And I'll pull that up and talk through that. The lineup's not the worst. It's got Jalen Richard in there with the flex. That's the worst play, but it's got the Bears and Njoku. So I think you got 3 solid spots. Well, 2. Richard's by far the diciest play. But I can pull that one up. We shout it out in the chat. Fuller. Oh, I got Hopkins now. So we can play Sanu. Who's gonna go then? I think you do want someone in that game. Sanu. Let's see here. See, because then I think Hooper would 35. No, he said 3,000. Because you dropped him from the Bears? That means you're going to the 2,000 in defense, and that means your only play is the Cardinals. And I mean, you're assuming the Cardinals show up. Like you're assuming. Like that's just so sketchy. And then do you even want to pair it with yours? Hey, I mean, it's a good approach. You're assuming hands off approach. Hey, I think the Cardinals play well. You don't have to pick TJ. You don't have to try to pick I don't think it's Fitzgerald or Kurt going off. Rosen might like it's just a 3 touchdown game for him. I don't think so. 1,400. I see. I like Juju. Okay, where are we at? Boyd. Okay. Demarius. Shoot. We got Hopkins paired. I don't think Snead's got a low floor this week. I think he's solid. He's solid. I feel sorry for anyone who liked Corey Davis last week. It's just a side note, but I picked up my Dynasty League last year, and I had him lined up every week just to have PPR. But I mean, it's just like which Mariota shows up to get him the ball. Yeah, like Ridley. I think since the last week was the off week. Yeah. I mean, like after that first game or the third game, like, just the target reception, the yards, and the touchdowns was ridiculous, right? It was looking like Aguilar from last year. He kept scoring at a constant rate. So he was never leaving out cold, but it looked last week like you really just left you. He left you with nothing. Yeah, Joey. Like AJ Green's. Yeah, I mean, I think you probably heard the narrative this season about AJ Green and just his consistency rating. Like he consistently either is right on par, but he rarely ever outperforms. So, see against the Steelers, they have to catch up. Boyd's not the worst play. We got 6,000. How much we got? 6,000. Yeah. Who else was there? I think the one time I've ever played Deshaun Jackson in DFS was I think he pulled a hammy and then he was done, which is the last thing you want from Deshaun Jackson because you need to catch a long ball and a touchdown to garner the value. I think 1,500 is too expensive this week. Like a season long, the sell high was like that was it. Off week 2, like that was a sell high for sure. I mean, I know we got 12 yards again, but I mean. Thomas had the game last week. He did have the long ball at the end. I know the pass rush for the Rams hasn't been as good as advertised. I appreciate that. Let's see here. How's the volume now? Better? How's the volume? Better? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know what the stats are from the Rams. Their pass rush, I don't think it's been as good this year. But I think before last week, Keenum had only thrown for a couple of touchdowns. It was not good. Yeah, it was not good. So if you trust them, five touchdowns all year. Threw 2 last week against the Jets. He threw 0 against the Chiefs and the Ravens. He threw against the Chiefs. He can't play DT, I don't think. I guess Boyd's the play. Yeah, it's a solid. I don't think. I mean, if the Seahawks are going to lean on the run as much as they did last week, we'll save this one. I like this one. If you guys got one you want to start up uh, with a question or a player, we'll run it back. Like I said, I already saved one with the 10K early play. And I played Richard. They're down at the bottom at 34, and that turned out pretty well. Let's see here. I'm not sure why it's not loading, but we'll go ahead and start another one. If I can get it to work. There we go. Yeah, so we went Naked Jameis, and then Gurley Yeldon, John Brown's been solid. I think Chester Rogers Flores. You know, I think this is the Juju. This is the Juju game. And then, I mean, I don't know if Njoku gets. No, I don't do FanDuel. I know this season they did switch. I think they took kickers out, or they moved it back to. They made it you can flex a kicker or something. No, I haven't looked at it though. I know it's. I think it's half PPR, right? I've only ever done DraftKings, just because it's full PPR. I like the flexibility it gives you with that. So now I haven't done FanDuel. Go start another one. Let's try Matt Ryan Julio. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, 1,600 for quarterback is ridiculous. What's that leave you though with running backs? Here we go. Nah, see, I don't. I mean, if Julio catches the touchdown, I know it's a thing, but if he catches the touchdown, he's solid. But like he 12 like 9 receptions, 170 yards, got him 29, and then again double the receptions, almost 20 targets, got him 169 for 30. So if he doesn't get the touchdown, and then if you're not getting that huge volume, then you paid 7,900 for, you could have put a $4,000 player in there to get you at least what his floor has been this season. And if the ceiling requires that much volume and he's not getting a touchdown, I don't know if you'd want to play him. So I don't know if I'm gonna play much Julio. Well, we'll try it. We'll try him at, and if not, I'll switch to Sanu. Let's try to keep Njoku in there. The island I will die on this year. Last week being his best week, PPR wise, 6 for 69. I mean, if that volume is just going to keep increasing, solid targets, receptions, and yards, I'm a believer in Baker. I think it'll come around. I don't know if the Chargers are will run amok on him, but so I'll get Melvin Gordon. Not the flex though. Just go run it back. I think his floor solid this week. I guess we yelled in again. I might need. Let me play Julio. I think you got to go Howard then to go up to get the floor. Ryan, Gurley, Carson, Jones, Godwin, Kuti. I think Matt Ryan Gurley already gets you a solid floor of points, whether it be cash or in a tournament. I think Carson's solid. I just don't know what his ceiling is, so I don't know how much upside's there. You got the Julio stack. I like Godwin coming back in that game. You saw late last season that Winston he liked throwing the Godwin, but they just weren't putting that many 3 wide sets out there. So he's just like this year, his snap percentage isn't up, but he's a good upside play. I don't know if this is. I think it's a solid week to play Kiki, but with Will Fuller fully back, and I know Hopkins is going to be playing against Tre'Davious White. He's done pretty well on the number ones he's played this year. Kati's got a solid floor, but they also have Miller back in blue. I think Kiki loses a little bit of work this week. I just don't think his floor is as high as it was. And then Vance, Jarvis, and the Ravens defense. Who did the Ravens play? Okay, against the Titans. That's solid. I think I maybe try to tinker with Landry and McDonald. Like you saw last week, like the bust with McDonald wasn't the fact that I don't know if not necessarily the target floor. It's just the snap split there with him and Jesse James. That's what hurt it last week. Then obviously the volume wasn't as high last week as it was normally when they're in those shootout games. I don't know what the prices of FanDuel are, but I try to maybe pivot from McDonald, some of the higher floor at tight end. But Landry's solid for sure. And, like say if you think that the Chargers will come out and can get up on the Browns this week, then you could maybe run Landry and Njoku, and I think your floor is pretty solid there between the two of them as far as a volume-based play. You know Landry's going to get it for sure, and then at tight end, obviously, you're assuming that this is the upside week for Njoku, but the only change I would make in that lineup there is probably either, obviously, like I'm doing in this lineup right here, maybe pivot off Julio if I'm going to stack with Ryan to Sanu, or just upgrade from McDonald to someone with a little higher floor. But I like the upside with Godwin. And like I said, with QT, and I think he's just going to lower. He'll get a little less work this week. Yeah, that's what I would change. Yeah. At least on FanDuel. I don't know about DraftKings. Let's see here. Let's keep going with the receivers. You can't do Juju. There's 7,500. Guess Will Fuller. That might be too expensive there. Put Buffalo. Yeah, I'll try Will Fuller. And then I guess we'll probably have to go mid-level defense here. I think maybe the Colts. If they get a lead, I think Colts can get enough sacks to keep the pressure on Darnold, anyways. Which would make way for a Powell coming back the other way if Corwell is out. I think O.J. Howard will play Sunday. If he does, we shouldn't play Brait. I think Brait was a good chalk play before, obviously, Howard practiced in full. You saw it late last season and then or this season that just the split between the two, it lowers the floor for Brait more than it does for Howard. I think just out of athleticism and tight end wise. And the thing about Brait this week, anyways, is he was a favorite red zone target of Jameis last season, and that's really what buoyed him in the tight end rankings was because he was catching a touchdown. I don't think his target and reception and yardage totals were that high each week, but he was catching a touchdown most weeks. So this week, if you're going to play Brait, I think you're playing him for that. You're like, okay, he's probably going to get, 4 for 40 and a touchdown, which that'll get it done at, in DFS. But if Howard plays, I don't know if the touchdown is there, and then I don't know if he's going to get the yardage either. I'm assuming you're talking FanDuel pricing for them. Yeah, I think if Howard plays, I'm off Brait, and I'm probably off Howard too if they both play. That's a scary split at tight end. Andrew Luck and Carlos Rogers stack. Chester Rogers. Oh, I got that in one of these lineups I just made earlier. I know Ryan Grant seemed like the play there, but like this week, obviously Mac is playing, so Himes probably has his role reduced, which means they might throw to receivers more this week if they're going to keep Mac out there. I'm not sure what the stats are on Mac being a pass protector, but like I said, I got Chester Rogers here. I'll save this real quick and I'll pull it up. Oh, I can't. There's still someone in. I'll come back to it. Yeah, I like Chester Rogers though, just because the floor. Doyle's still out, so it's Ebron. And he was a little bit banged up this week too, but the volume's been there since. Here it is. So the volume's been out since T.Y. Hilton's been out. He's been getting the volume in the passing game from the receiver position, anyways. So I like it. And Luck's getting the volume too. So he's getting the volume to have a 3-4 touchdown game and 300 yards. He's a solid play. I'm gonna play the Jets. Yeah, I'm in on a Luck and Roger stack. Yeah, See, I think they're assuming with the pricing here above Cam and Rivers that he's got a good chance for a volume and he's going to produce for that. But you look at Chester Rogers. Doubled it back-to-back double targets, 8 receptions, and then solid yardage there. So in full PPR, you're good. I think half on FanDuel, you're okay. I like it. Yeah, I'm in on that stack. Where was it? Where's this one? The Julio stack. Am I going to play too much Jalen Richard this week? He keeps popping up as the. Where is he? Richard? Where's he? 35? He's 34. Oh. Fuller Jones. Stack with Ryan. And then $500. Moff Jackson. I probably want to look up Atlanta's stats on their on deep balls when we played Deshaun Jackson. Because last year with Jameson or Cinder, he was pretty inconsistent. So I don't know how much he reverts back to last year, Jameis, but let's see here. Thoughts on Lockett, Sanu, Boyd, or Landry? Lockett, Sanu, Boyd, or Landry, Katie, Godwin? The higher floor for sure is Lockett, Sanu, and Boyd. Even with Baldwin back, obviously Lockett's still hitting some big plays, getting consistent volume, but still locked down on the snaps, and he's catching some touchdowns. So he's solid. Sanu, you've seen it there. He's the number 2. Ridley, he had the 2-game stretch, but especially in if we're talking DFS, I think Sanu's the pivot play from Julio. I know some people might go to Hooper from last week, but I think people are awkwardly. I mean, I don't know if you can go under with it safely and expect to get something back. Let's see here. Or Landry, Kuti, and Godwin. I think the upside in that trio is Godwin. I think Landry's floor is a little elevated this week, playing the Chargers just because they might have to throw a bit more. Like I said, I think I mentioned QT. Tre'Davious White on Hopkins might funnel some targets towards Fuller and QT, but they also have Lamar Miller back and Alfred Blue in a game where they should win and should have a relatively positive game script. So I don't know if Kuti has this, like I said, the same floor he's had the past 2 weeks when Fuller was out. Even with Tre'Davious White this week on Hopkins, I think Hopkins the volume is there for him to be able to overcome that. Especially, I think he's where's he priced at this week? He's I think he's a safer play than AJ Green this week. I mean, Mike Evans has been solid, but I don't know. I'd go Lockett to New Boyd. That's a really solid trio of receivers. I'm not even a Landry guy either. I know what he brings to the table. I think by season's end, you'll see what can he be with a good quarterback like Baker Mayfield. But I think we're still waiting to see on that. So I go Lockett to New Boyd. $4,600. Let's split it. If you go Richard again, so let's go Richard. I mean, if the Seahawks are going to do what they've been wanting to do, which is just run the football, then I think you're good with Richard. I think you see somewhat this week. I mean, is Crowell a true game time decision? Which I'd Powell news now. I'm patient and greedy. Yeah, I just traded for Crowell in Dynasty League just based on age. I feel like I can hold him on. I can hold on to him for a couple of years. You know, I'm not sure what his contract is with the Jets, but if they decide to trade him or ever give him the full job, I think he could be a play for he'll be a solid back in the league for a while. Yeah, as far as Powell, he'll be a great play if Crowell's out, especially if Indy does what they want to do, which is just get up early and then they'll just probably try to lean on the run game a bit. Or even a back and forth game, I still think Crowell sees a good amount of volume. I think we'll pull up on Roto World. I think, they're saying Crowell is a game time decision, unfortunately. It is a late game though, I think. So you could late swap if you're playing DraftKings to Powell in your flex. I don't think you're playing Powell. I don't think you're playing Crowell if he plays. So I think you're still playing Powell in that game. I hate to have him make a Powell just in case he hits and then watch him play. Yeah. Crowell is out. Expects to play. Yeah, I think the safer play there is still just based on the injury. I think, and if you look at his game log from this year, he's had the 2 huge games. Obviously, the 2 touchdowns, and then obviously last week, the 200 yards. Outside of that, he's really been. Let me see if Crowell is out. Yeah, I think Crowell's. I think Powell. He's a solid play if Crowell's out. Not sure what the cap relief there if we're talking DFS. Where's Powell? It's 45. I think he's 45. Maybe not. There he is. Yeah, 45. So, when you look around him, so if Crowell's out, he's getting more volume than probably Blue, Eckler, those other guys you would maybe pivot off of if you had to go cheap somewhere else. Like even last week, like he had a ton of run. Like they got up and they said we're running the ball. So that could happen in Indy, which would go back to your Chester Rogers luck stack. Like if they're just gonna pound the ball and they're gonna give as many carries to Powell as they did to Crowell, and Crowell's out, you can put Powell in there, but like so you're trusting the Jets to get the lead there. And I don't know. I think the Jets are an okay team. I don't know if you know what they are yet though. Yeah. 1 p.m. Ooh, yeah, that sucks. And they're priced pretty evenly this week, so I don't know. Yeah, Powell, I think he's a solid play if Crowell's out this week. Let's put this last receiver in there. So Boyd was 6,000. So we missed out on him. 59. I think it was Demarius, Deshaun Jackson at the top, anyways. Could we go Brown? Could we get up to the Bears on defense? Can we get the Bears? Can we get the Bears? We can't get the Bears. Ooh. Ravens, though. Well, so if we take John Brown, can we upgrade the flex? So we'll keep the Colts real quick. And then 38. We had the flex of 3,800. Here's Samuel Mack. Like Howard, because he's got to be low owned. Yeah, he is. He'll definitely be low owned. If you're trying to get low ownership on a back, I think he's a good one. Yeah. Like I own in that same dynasty league. I also traded for Jordan Howard, and I've waited essentially a whole half season for him to just come out and just 25, run for 100 yards, get a goal line touchdown. Like those are the games like I feel like he could put up every week. But if they blew him out last week and he got minimal touches and they just gave it all to Cohen. But what the thing is, I was on the Miami defense the week they played the Patriots. It was a terrible idea. I mean, the Patriots they needed that win. That barely ever happened. So he knew they'd come out and just pound him, and they did. They pound him on the ground though, with Michelle. So I think if the Bears just go out and just try to pound the ball on the ground like the Patriots did against Miami, and that Bears defense is going to smother the Dolphins, then I think Howard, he's going to at least get a touchdown. I think on the goal line, just because I think he's going to get some field position. I'll play some Howard. Here, we'll do that as the next lineup. We'll put some Howard in. Let's pick this. Let's pick this flex real quick. Here, we'll just go back to good old Jalen Richard. Yeah. Is he gonna kill my lineups this week? He probably will. Where is he? He's at 35. There he is. 34. So 29. Who we have for defense? I guess we're gonna play the Ravens. Yeah, I'll go Ravens. All right. So let's try to get a Howard lineup. McCaffrey, Gordon, Powell. That's solid. I had McCaffrey and Gordon last week. and cash with those. That was a solid stack. McCaffrey, he did need that receiving touchdown late to really make it worth it. But yeah, Gordon, I mean, any week he can do what Gurley can do, I think, as far as like a 3 touchdown game, even good amount of yards receiving and rushing. So I think Gordon's a great play every week. I mean, he's not going to hurt you, I don't think. Like, Eckler's not just going to come in and get the 3 touchdowns. I think the 3 touchdown game is going to happen. And the game with the Chargers is going to happen for Rivers and then probably for Gordon. So, yeah, people are off of Fuller because of injury. One game, everyone will be back on him. Feel smart to play him. Yeah, like in the lineup I just did, I think I had Fuller in there. I mean, you've seen him when he's healthy and playing with Deshaun Watson. He scores. He's going to catch a couple of deep balls, and he's probably going to score a touchdown. I mean, if you're scared of Tre'Davious White on Hopkins, and you've paid up elsewhere at receiver, I don't think you need to play Hopkins. And even if you're going to stack with Watson, you can play Fuller. I think that's a great play. Yeah. Tell me the lineup with Fuller. I'll pull that one up. I haven't started this one yet. Yeah. So this first one, I did the 10K Gurley. Just wanted to see what a 10K Gurley lineup would look like. And if the worst piece is going to be a Jalen Richard that I need to, the Raiders to get down in, then that's not, I mean, I'm okay with that. He is in all lineups now, though. I'll probably need to pivot off of that later out, as I probably need to switch to the quarterbacks a bit. Probably to go cheaper or running back then. That's right, yeah. That's what I saw Tre'Davious White. He was limited in practice. So, and at the same time, I just saw it last week. You saw what the Bengals did with A.J. Green against Xavier Howard and the Dolphins. They just put him in the slot to take him away from him. So they game planned him to get the targets. And I think that took some volume away from Boyd last week. But Hopkins, he's going to get so much volume. I think his volume floor with Watson is high enough to where I think he can probably write off that White's going to be on him because he's going to get it. I think he's going to get the volume. I'm guessing you're baiting Braid off of ownership. I'm fading Braid off of just his floor. Just if you look at last year playing with Jameis, and the year before, he's getting like 3 for 40 and a touchdown. Like he wasn't high volume, not high yardage, but he was a goal line and he was a red zone threat for Winston. And then Howard gets full practice in is questionable. And we already saw this year and last year that split between the two isn't that fantasy friendly for either of them. And you're having to guess which one goes off. So I'm fading Braid. I think Njoku's a safe floor play and he's not super expensive. I think the moment he has like a 90-yard game or a touchdown, you're talking about Braid's targets for this year, then yeah, I think that Fitzpatrick, I think he was ignoring him a bit. I think, but last year and the year before, I don't think the targets and yardage and the catches were there. But yeah, I'm fading Braid, especially just the fact that like even if if OJ Howard's on the snap count, I'm still fading Braid. I think like if Howard was out, I'd put Braid. I'd have some Braid. I don't know if he'd be all along. I still have some Njoku. I'd maybe try to get up to Ebron. I don't know if this is the week to jump on Jordan Reed, but I mean Ebron's been great for luck. An Ebron luck stack would be solid if you didn't go Chester Rogers. I mean, just looking at the lineups I have here, putting Njoku in there at 3,800, and you look at the rest of the tight end position. Someone might be as high as 20. trusting a random person in a hypothetical weather report. That's interesting. I mean, that's fair. I think that's a better play than for Melvin Gordon, obviously, to play off of Gurley. Yeah, Njoku's that's the thing. He's getting the targets and he's getting catches. Just the yards and the touchdowns haven't been there. And once they do, like he'll be up there price with Jordan Reed, and Kyle Rudolph. Like he'll be up in 4K plus. So, I mean, you're a bit like most time with DFS, you're better to be a week early than late. So if this is the week Njoku goes off, this is probably the last time you can probably just plug and play him in, knowing you've got a safe floor, because then you have to pay for that floor. After he has that big game. Because look at Ebron. Ebron scored a couple of touchdowns. Each week he scored a touchdown or so. And then, look, he's 5,400. Obviously, there's no Gronk here on this slate. No Jimmy Graham. But 5,400 for Eric Ebron? Like, you still don't know what your floor is with him. I know he's been played well this year with luck, but you can't be Njoku. Like, Cameron Brate, you saw with Hooper, not last week, but the week before. Like he pops. Yeah, Ebron's safe. He's just, like I said, he's so expensive this week. Just on the main slate, 5,400. Here, next lineup, we'll try to make an Ebron lineup. We'll go high on tight end, and then we'll try to go high on defense too. And just play down with the receivers. Like last week, see, Ebron, he just kept scoring, and then he's top of the main slate this week. We'll try one with Ebron. Let's see here. Ebron's been safe. Like I played him the week that he backdoored himself into I think like 13 points because that was the one where they subbed in Brissett to throw the Hail Mary. Yeah, a big part of GPP strategy is obviously what's your bankroll, like how many lineups you're going to enter. You can do multiple entries in a contest, or you can do cash. Or what slate are you playing? So you got to come up with your player pool, and I go pretty small on quarterbacks and defenses and tight ends, so I can get a better mix match. Of receivers and running backs. Mostly receivers, because I usually stay pretty solid for a running back. Save doesn't win GPPs, but T.Y. and Doyle both out. It's not just Doyle out. Yeah, and that's been the bigger thing for Ebron. It's just like he's had the chance to be the main target, and he's produced being the main target for luck. So, at least downfield. So he's a good play. Here we'll start it up with him. Let's see here. Yeah, I know safe doesn't win GPPs. Like last week I was all over Vance McDonald and Baldwin. I'd almost put in some Hooper, but winning Cleveland, Snow, and Denver 2 games. I'm watching weather just in case. Yeah, wind is the big one. I heard something today that in Denver, the snow might just be like a dusting. So it won't really stick, but there will be snow, but it won't be piling up. For real? Yeah, a few inches. Weather's changing then. Let's see here. Like in that Denver game, obviously, so you got the 10K Gurley. So he's always, it'd be fun to see. Like I did the one to see what would your lineup look like with the 10K Gurley in there, and then obviously we found out Cooks and Kupp are playing, so. Really, you can argue his receiving floor, his receiving ceiling's a little lower now that they've got their full. Jerry Goff's got all his receivers back. Do you want to stack with Goff? Like you said, you got Snow, so Even's back out. Gurley's floor again, and then do you want to play one of those receivers? They're like the rich man's version of the Jacksonville receivers. You're not going to get hurt by playing any of them, but you obviously in DFS you want to pick the best one unless you're playing cash. Then you probably want to pick the safest one. And most weeks should probably be Kupp. People goes when Kamara got above 40 DK points for his Giants. He didn't make the really winning lineup. Yeah, that was the one week I think I was really on Kamara. Because I've been playing Gordon. I've been fading. I've been playing Gordon and DJ to save some, and it, like I said, it didn't hurt. But yeah, that Kamara week, I think pricing was pretty tight, or as far as receiver matchups, you couldn't really bank on those. Yeah, he really can. Like you saw it first week. What was it? 3 touchdowns. Here we go. Was it this week? No, what week was it? No, it's week 2. Yeah, like three touchdowns. Not much yardage, but like that touchdown upside is huge. It's huge. And last year again, I mean last week, 77 yards, but 3 touchdowns, and then you're still going to get some yardage from catching and the receptions. Yeah, I'm fine with the Gurley fade. I don't know if I'll hold that one I made with the 10K Gurley. In theory, it's a fun idea, but I've only been doing about 6 to 8. I did 10 a couple weeks ago. I was entering a couple of those in the same contest. So my player pool's it's just not super spread out, but like I think I haven't played Gurley at all this year. This will be the first time I'll play Gurley, and it's just because, yeah, like I said, yeah, that one lineup I made with Gurley, the worst person in that lineup. I mean, let's see here. Yeah, we'll forget that one. No, it's not. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like I mean, what's the difference between Melvin Gordon and Todd Gurley? So obviously, there's price wise this week. It's how much? I think it's $1,800 this week. But what's the ceiling difference between them? Melvin Gordon is just as capable of having a 3-touchdown game as Gurley is. So why would you pay 10K for Gurley? You pay Melvin Gordon, similar floor, So I don't think 10K Gurley you have to play this week. And I think he's not as good of a player as he was at the beginning of the week now that their receivers are back. It is just interesting just to see what you can come up with putting him in there. Yeah, so I think Melvin Gordon, I've pushed him in every week. Every week I've had at least one either Rivers Gordon stack, or I've had Gordon and Keenan Allen just to even out. If Gordon's not going to get the receiving that week, maybe it goes to Allen and he has that blow up game. That's a game I'm going to try to pinpoint when it happens. When's that blow up week for Keenan Allen? Like, when's he going to get 9 for 115 and a touchdown? Like, when's that Keenan Allen game coming? But I don't know if it's here this week, just because the Browns do have a good defense. I'm probably going to fade Philip Rivers this week after past 4 weeks. I mean, he's 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's been solid this year, and he's got a decreased price this year because he does have the harder matchup. But he hasn't hurt you this year. Like most weeks, it's funny to see quarterbacks in DFS because it's like, well, if I'm going to go cheap in a tournament, Ryan Tannehill has a good matchup this week, but then Ryan Tannehill is going to do Ryan Tannehill things, and then you've got 12 points, and you could have just played it safe and paid up a little bit and gotten 10 more points if you played someone like Rivers, who's going to have a solid floor each week. Let's see here. So we'll go with the Ebron. 54. So we'll go Ebron here. Do I want to go with the Colts defense then? I think he's safe.
Yeah, I'll worry about QB ownership. A good play. Yeah, I think I think more so in cash, quarterback ownership is something to monitor than GPP, just because you're trying to get that solid floor. And so, like an off day from between Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers in a cash game, in a cash lineup, could make or break the lineup, depending on who you have a receiver and running back. Because you're trying to leverage the floors there, to make sure you get money on those. But in a tournament, like you play, like this week, it's going to be Winston, Watson, Matt Ryan. I think solid every week tournament play should be Cam. Not so much Russell Wilson this year, but last year there's a lot of Brady. The whole he's an old guy one narrative there, but I think there's some good solid. I don't think you need to play Matt Ryan this week. I feel like Rick's done 6 times a game. People aren't going to play him. Yeah, he's a great volume play this week, and that's what he's been all year. He's been solid volume. Basically, I think that's built in this year. Yeah, his volume is solid. Like 59, 60, 40, 31. He's throwing it plenty. His first 2 games, he had some tough lineups. I mean, some tough matchups. But against Houston, defense isn't the best this year. Look, 464 and 4 tutties. Against New England, a little bit of garbage time thrown in, but that's a solid lineup. I mean, he's going to get the volume. And then a game against the Jets where they have a chance to win, Luck's a great play. Like I said, with Chester Rogers or Ebron. And I think if Mac wasn't playing, probably throw Naheem Hines in there again. Hit that over about Winston being over owned. Should I fade him? Is he going to play in a good play? I believe at 1% owned. Trubisky wins the Millie. That was ridiculous. Like I really didn't have much of a chance. If you didn't have Trubisky, you didn't have much chance that week. I mean, six touchdowns. I did have Taylor Gabriel that week. That was a solid play. And that was the only Bears I had. I think. I don't think I had any Howard. I didn't have any Cohen or anything. But that was the Gabriel week. And that was a good play. But yeah, I mean, based on the price for Winston, 58. I mean, I think his floor is higher than Wilson's. You could argue this year. Yeah, I usually play about three to 4 quarterbacks, sometimes just 2, depending on the matchups. Like this week, just so I can afford. Like most weeks, I'll pay down. I'll go a little cheap at quarterback. Like I don't think I'm going to play much Matt Ryan this week. Especially if I'm going to match up with Julio, and Julio doesn't get those touchdowns, then you might as well just not play Julio then and just play naked Matt Ryan. I think if we're talking quarterbacks, I think quarterbacks this week. I think Goff's okay. Rivers is a good fade just because he's got a tougher matchup. But he's Phillip Rivers, so you can play through it. Let's see here. Obviously, Cam, I don't know if he's super owned, but he's Cam Newton. He could have like the 3 touchdown game where he gets in he runs in 1 or 2. Obviously, you're not playing Bortles this week. I don't think you can play Mayfield unless you assume that, these are somebody quarterback. Yeah, like I said, you don't have to play Winston. He's just a cheaper play. Let me see here. Yeah, like you're saying, the volume play with Luck, that's solid. And next, you put him with Ebron if you can make it work, or Chester Rogers or something like that. Andy Dalton's not bad. He's playing Pittsburgh. That's a game that should be high scoring. He's played well this season. I think people are probably still off of him from last year, but I don't think he went cheaper than Winston. Bortles is fine when he playing the Cowboys. Yeah, even against the Cowboys, you're playing. Like if so, assume like the Jaguars struggle on offense. Um, and they're probably gonna try to run the ball, but if they give the Cowboys a chance, they're gonna run the clock out, and then you got to put the game in the hands of Blake Bortles. I don't know if I want to mess with them. I had a little bit of them um, last week. And that was sketchy, obviously, because you saw the garbage time points roll in. Maybe I shouldn't if Dak can't stand the field. I think I'm staying away from that game outside of Yeldon. Because I think just Yeldon, no matter how that game plays out, he's a solid play. Um, and then maybe Zeke in a fade in tournaments, but that Jags defense is legit, and I don't know if Dak can do enough to keep Zeke on the field or the offense as a whole, for that matter. But I think the best play is easily Yeldon, especially just because he's the guy this week. Corey Grant's out, Fournette's out still. Let's see here. So what Ebron? Could be a sneaky game where Jets and Colts, they just blow it up. I think about Goff. I feel like I use them. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why this week the play before Cooks and Cup were ruled back in to play. I think Goff Gurley was a good stack because you've got Goff here at 6,000. It's not super expensive, and you're only paying over Rivers and Winston. So you think if he's going to get that extra volume to Gurley, throw me those receiving touchdowns to him. I think picking the receivers is harder to do in tournament play for the Rams than it is for cash. I think for cash, you can just probably pick Cup and you're solid. Like Cooks has always been a boomer bust play, no matter who he's played with. And then Woods, touchdown dependent. I don't care what you say. I mean, you look at last year, based on how he finished the year, like he had a run of touchdowns. Like he had a 4-week run of touchdowns he was scoring. Before that, he wasn't doing much. And I don't think he's not a good quarterback, but I think the offense he plays in, it just does him so many favors. I think he sets him up for success. Like one in, I don't know. Like look, he had the 1 week obviously on the Thursday night with the Vikings, and then meh. Okay, 3-1, and then meh, and then not good. So I don't think you need to play Goff this week, even if he is playing the Broncos, whose defense has been better, but not good. I'd say off Goff, unless you did stack them. But let's see here. We'll go with that luck play. So let's assume Crowell's out. So we'll play Powell at the flex. Try to do with a little lineup volume. Yeah, that's why since like I said, I only play about 6 to 10. So I've got my pool of quarterbacks 3 to 4. Some weeks I might even